Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is Life in Denver. I am Joe. This is my business partner, Monique. Today we're checking out a real fun one for you guys. We got Boulder, Colorado, probably one of the most well-known areas in Colorado outside of maybe, Denver, Aspen, Vail, all those big mountain towns. Boulder's always been a super well-known area, so it's a fun one. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, so jumping into things, in terms of Boulder, what's the feel like here? What does everyone like to do here? Everyone knows Colorado for the outdoor activities. Everybody loves hiking out here. Everybody loves being just healthy, general fitness, all of that. Boulder is like that, but just amplified. It's like what you think of in Colorado compared to the rest of the US. That's what Boulder's like to the rest of Colorado. It is just super amplified as far as everyone's very into their fitness, everyone's very into their health. You find a lot of health food stores, ton of hiking out here, and it is just a very walkable area. It's very easy to get around. Everyone's biking here. There's designated bike lanes, which you don't find in Denver actually, which is a really nice perk here to being in Boulder. So it just has all of the infrastructure in order to kind of support that lifestyle. One of the first things that comes to mind for us though is hiking, obviously very, very popular out here in Colorado. The Flatirons, that's the most well-known hike here in Boulder, and for a reason. It's a great, great hike because this is where I always tend to bring friends and family who are visiting. When people first come out to Colorado, obviously there's that adjustment to the altitude, just getting accustomed to the way of life out here. That's really not a super strenuous hike, but it's got great, great views, and it's within an hour of being in Denver. So like,
you can also bring your dogs too.
Yes, and no time slots, so a very friendly one.
There you go. So a lot of times Joe and I talk about, securing reservations, making time slots. This is when you do want to get in early, because if you do show up around 9:30, 10 a.m., you will struggle with parking. But if you get there nice and early, bring your dog. It is dog friendly, so definitely something, worthwhile to bring. If you have family in town and you can't find anyone on Rover to take care of little furry baby, you could just definitely bring him along for the nice hike.
Yeah, there is one main lot, but I was giving Moni crap this morning. She wanted to meet 9:30, 10 o'clock snooze in. You got to be there by like 8:30 to get a parking spot, because if you don't catch that lot, there is some street parking, but again, it's limited. So you're basically stuck waiting for someone to leave the hike if they went early in the morning, or you have to put it off to later in the afternoon. So if you can get there early, like 9 a.m. or earlier, you'll be in great shape. And what's really cool too is after you knock out that hike, like we were saying, it's very walkable here. So you can easily go from the Flatirons hiking over there right over to Pearl Street Mall, which is probably like a mile or so away. And it's super easy because from there, there's a ton of dining, a ton of great places to hang out and just take in the views, because everywhere in Boulder has mountain views. Like there's nowhere you're gonna be there to where you're not gonna have panoramic views of those mountains. So it's just a great place in terms of if you like nature, if you like outdoors, nothing really beats Boulder overall.
Right, and you could definitely go, like Joe was saying, to local shops, and you can also check out like local breweries that are on the main mall. Another thing too during the weekends, just as we experienced this morning, was there's a lot of events in terms of races and things like that happen. So
yeah, big running community.
Big running community, and as Joe was saying, Super Fit in Boulder actually always ranks within the top 3 of most fittest cities in the United States. So definitely something worthwhile to call out. Another thing too is if you are going to spend like some time in Boulder and you want to go to Pearl Street Mall and you're going to be heading to Pearl Street Mall in the weekend, make sure that you plan ahead, because traffic does get a little congested. And especially if you have, like today, we have a marathon, 2 miles. If you're a marathon runner, hands to you, because
we ain't running no marathons.
No. I've actually done the 10K, the Boulder, which is a huge run here in Colorado that they do every year, and it's like over 50,000 runners, I believe. And it's, over 6 miles. I think that's my max. I don't know.
Good for you. Last 5K I did give me like an asthma attack, so no 10Ks either.
No, yeah, it's definitely great in the sense of, if you are going to spend your weekend, it does get busy. You'll see a lot of tents. You'll see a lot of people kind of like, basically cheering each other on to go.
A bunch of vendors and stuff too.
Yeah, a bunch of vendors and things. So definitely if you're going to go up for the hike, and then, you do expect to be a little more busy if you are in the peak seasons for runners and a lot of the races that do happen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always something going on in Boulder, whether it's marathon, whether it's sporting events. You got the University of Colorado Boulder now. They're super popular. You got Deion Sanders coaching them. So they've come up a lot this season. They're very, very popular. So again, traffic on game day, but if you plan accordingly, super enjoyable, great stadium, and beautiful campus too. So we'll get you footage on all of that, but just kind of laying out the, lay of the land here of what Boulder's like. There is a ton to do. You'll always have a fun time here.
All right, guys, and real quick, talking about CU Boulder. CU Boulder is a very popular college university here in the state of Colorado. It's actually a very beautiful campus. It's really close up to the foothills. It's in Boulder, so of course you have all the picturesque views. And while you're on campus, you will definitely see a lot of nature, a lot of wild animals as well, a lot of bear-proof trash cans, because we do have bears that come and visit looking for food. So definitely something to call out. Also, if you are visiting Boulder, like we mentioned before, during the weekend and a game is happening, you do want to make sure you plan ahead, because you will hit that traffic, especially because there's usually only one way in and out of Boulder. You do take Highway 36 to get into Boulder, so you'll definitely experience, congestion, and it will take you longer to get to wherever you're going. So we're calling out.
That's just the weekend anywhere here in Boulder. Like we were talking about the Pearl Street Mall as well. Great spot, especially come like right now, we're getting into fall time. And like I've called out before in previous videos, like it is maybe 4 or 5 weeks is short here, but it's super enjoyable. And Pearl Street Mall is a great spot to go check out come fall time, just because they're very into the holidays there. There's street performers, there's mom and pop shops, great places to eat, etc. You can spend a whole day just at the mall and have a great time. And there's a ton of great restaurants with rooftop seating too to get those mountain views. But what we're getting at here is the mall gets popular on the weekends too. So it's just parking is always difficult here. So just something, of course, always try and plan ahead. However you can get around, if you can bike, even better. That makes life much, much easier. But ton of fun stuff, but overall just a little tricky to navigate come those weekend days. All right, guys, next point we're going to jump into is housing. But just a quick little reminder, we are licensed realtors out here in the state of Colorado. So any real estate needs you guys have, any questions about any area, feel free to reach out anytime. But always like just throwing that quick reminder in there. In terms of housing here in Boulder, though, Boulder it's a more expensive market, and understandably so, just because of the fact that it's super desirable. People who move here, they rarely leave. So it's hard to even see listings come on the market here. Ton of buyer demand, but not a lot of listings. So you do find it's hard. But the average homes here are going to be that $1.2, $1.3 million price range. So definitely up there, but well worth it. Totally worth the investment, and you will keep that investment. You won't lose money in Boulder. Boulder is one of those places that will always be desirable. However, if that's not your price range, another one we always recommend to clients too is Superior is right next door. That's probably 10-15 minutes away. We'll be putting out another video on that. That's a great alternative because you can still access all of what Boulder has to offer, but just coming from 10-15 minutes away with a better price point. So always like throwing that out there. In terms of housing though, you do see Boulder is very limited in terms of they're not really allowing much on the new build side anymore. So it really is just whatever exists, and people are working with what they got, whether that's scraping an old house and kind of bringing it up to be more modern, whether that's taking, some of those older homes and you enjoy that style and you don't want to modernize it. You see that a lot too. So it's really, there's a ton of different variety out there, and some older kind of style ranches where you see the college kids will rent those because those are a little bit cheaper. So just whatever you want. Definitely a lot of availability across the board.
Right, and I think it also depends too if you're looking to be within central, so like closer to downtown Boulder. Or
yeah, like the Valley area versus the mountain town. Yeah, the mountain homes are expensive.
Right, yeah. So if you're looking to live within the mountains and up more on the mountains, obviously you'll see a
premium.
But yeah, a premium, a little bit heftier in terms of
understandably so.
Exactly, yeah. And so if you are looking to live closer to, to Pearl Street, or you're looking to live closer to the university, you'll see the houses are a little bit older. You will see, some have done some remodeling, but it's all within zoning and all within requirements within the city. So, if you are looking to buy within the city limits and you do want to do those updates, definitely something that's possible. However, you will have to use the correct zoning, processes and apply with the city and make sure everyone's okay and gives you the green light to make those changes. So just definitely wanted to throw that out there in terms of the different contexts of home types and different price points.
Definitely. One more big win too, and it's always going to be reflected in price point, is the schools here in Boulder. So schools in Boulder are always literally top 2 in the entire state of Colorado. There's one down in the Springs that sometimes will beat it out every once in a while, but as far as like the Denver area, Denver Metro as a whole, Boulder's usually always number 1. And that's just how it is. Like, they have phenomenal schools. So don't feel like you need to put your kid in charter schools, STEM schools, whatever it may be. Their public school system is literally always like an A+ on niche.com. So something we highly recommend if schools are a big one and you can work with that price point. It's really hard to beat Boulder. Great place to raise a family, great place to be outdoors, and great schools. So really just a great package overall.
Took my point. I was supposed to.
Hey, you got to remember your points. You want to talk on schools? Come on now.
Look at him. He's thinking about schools now.
Always.
There we go.
All right, guys, one more thing we're going to call out for you as well is just how good the job market here is in Boulder, because we're talking about, obviously, it's a more expensive market, but what you do find is there's a ton of tech jobs. Boulder in general is just a big tech hub. So you do find those higher paying jobs that can kind of support that higher expense, of living. So in turn, you do find a lot of young, just kind of new grads who do get those really good jobs out of the gate, and they're very into the outdoors, but they also have that good job to support that area. So it's a really good young community there, as well as a big, family friendly area as well. So whether you're a young professional, whether you're trying to raise a family, Boulder is a great place all across the board. You even see a lot of people who've lived here for their entire lives who just, again, they don't want to sell because they love Boulder so much. So you find some retirees in the area as well. So don't feel like, hey, it's not like a young crowd here, or hey, you can't retire here either. Like, there is definitely great people across the board, all age groups. Boulder in general is just an awesome place and definitely somewhere you can work. So whether it's you're remote, whether it's you do want to find work in the area, you will definitely have no issues when it comes to Boulder. It's a city in and of itself.
Guys, and as much as Joe and I love making these videos for you, we would love to help with any real estate needs you may have. Please feel free to contact us at the information on your screen. We answer all those calls, text, emails at any time. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.